One of the biggest games in college football is this weekend, and it's not really a game that a lot of people are talking about, but the Boise State Broncos and UNLV Rebels are going to face off in what has major playoff implications with how this season has gone. These are two teams that are getting plenty of attention, but I think that they could get more. I think that this is, again, a game that is not going to be talked about by a ton of people, especially not on the national scale. They're going to talk about what's going on with Texas, what's going on with Georgia, and obviously that makes sense. But Boise State and UNLV, this is going to be one of the biggest games, really for the group of five, but just for the college football playoff race, this has major implications for both teams. Whichever team wins this is in the first place for the group of five. It's in the front seat, the driver's seat for that position to make it to the playoff. And these are two teams that are really fun to watch. If you have not watched the Boise State Broncos and Ashton Genty, you are missing out. If you have not watched Coach Brendan Marion's offense, which is transformed since the whole Matthew Sluka situation, you are missing out. These are two really good offenses that can score points in a hurry, and you are going to be in for a treat if you decide to watch this game. These are two teams, again, that can score the football at a high level. Their defenses, while they may not be elite, they have some playmakers that are disruptive, and that's going to be a big thing to watch for both sides is which defense can make a bigger impact, which defense can get more stops. With these two offenses, that's going to be difficult. Stopping Boise State is not easy. If you've watched Ashton Genty, even if you think that you have him, you don't. And that's why the biggest question for UNLV is going to be how do you stop Ashton Genty? How do you stop him? Right now, nobody has that answer. Not even Oregon had an answer for that. He is someone that, yes, you have to give some credit to the offensive line, but if you've watched him play, the number of broken tackles he's forced means that you are in for a long day against him. If you cannot find ways to slow him down, even if you have one or two guys there, he is able to break those tackles. He is someone that has put together an incredible highlight tape, and they have only played 6 games. He has another 6 games in him, plus potential, Mountain West championship and a playoff game. They have shown that they can compete with the best of the best. I mean, they gave Oregon the run for their money, and maybe Oregon's a different team now, but Boise State means business. So UNLV is going to have their hands full trying to stop them. The question for Boise State, their defense too, is can that defense handle Brennan Marion's offense? Brennan Marion is one of the most innovative offensive minds in college football right now, and he is going to get either a power four offensive coordinator position or a head coaching job somewhere, whether it's at the group of five, whether it's at the R4, whatever it's going to be. He's going to be promoted at the end of the year. It's pretty much a given at this point. This offense is nuts. They have the unique two running back side by side next to the quarterback formation that they run. That's really fun to watch. He is someone that is going to make life very difficult for Boise State's defense. He's going to put a lot of stress on the secondary. He's going to put a lot of stress on this team in general. And this offense has plenty of playmakers. While you talk about Ashton Genty and what he can do, UNLV has a number of studs that can make plays as well. So this is an offense that means business, and Boise State is definitely going to have their hands full as well. The matchup to watch, honestly, I put UNLV tackling versus Ashton Genty because really, when you play Boise State, that's what it is. How do you tackle a guy who has been absolutely phenomenal, a guy who has been impossible to tackle at times, and an absolute menace because he stands like Michael Myers in the backfield? No, your typical running back stance has a little bit of bend in the knees, and Ashton Genty is just like, all right, just tell me when to go, and I'm ready. Just give him the ball and let him do work. Now, that being said, Jackson Woodard is a phenomenal player for UNLV's defense, has been an incredible playmaker so far for the Rebels, and he is going to have his fair share of opportunities to stop Ashton Genty. It's just a matter of can he get in position enough and can he make tackles when it's just him and Genty. Genty has plenty of power in his frame. He's he's a little bit more compact, so tackling him requires incredible form. And Jackson Woodard is ready for that challenge. Again, he does a little bit of everything. He's disruptive. He tackles the ball carrier. He can get out in space. He picks off passes. He is an incredible player that not a lot of people are talking about. Jackson Woodard does not get the love that he deserves, and it's probably because of a number of things, mostly because people don't really pay attention to the group of five as much as they do, those top tier teams. And you also don't pay attention to defense as much as you do offense. But Jackson Woodard is someone to pay attention to. The guy that makes everything go right now is Haj Malik Williams. That quarterback change was a welcomed one, apparently, in the locker room, and it's been a good one. He has been really fun to watch. 838 yards and 10 touchdowns so far in his, I won't say limited, but in his short stint as the starting quarterback. He's also a good athlete that can run in space. UNLV still wants to run the football. They wanted to run a little bit more under Sluka. Now they can open things up at the passing attack with Williams, but they're going to need that balance. They're going to need to throw the ball. They're going to need to run the ball. That's going to be a big key for them. Jaden Thomas has been really good. The biggest difference, though, for UNLV has been Ricky White. Ricky White is someone who came into this year. We expected big things for him. And with how UNLV ran their offense, he was kind of non existent. He was not a player that we talked about on a weekly basis. The talent didn't go anywhere. It's just that the offense didn't have the arsenal to get him or the personnel to get him the football. Malik Williams is different. He's going to be able to get him the football there. He's going to be able to throw that, and we've seen that over the last couple of weeks. Ricky White has been a very different force than he was in the beginning of the season. So he is someone to keep an eye on, and Boise State definitely knows they'll have their hands full facing him. We talked about Jackson Woodard. Again, this guy is just an incredible playmaking machine for this defense. He is so fun to watch, has the potential to be an All American this year, and he'll be, again, a player to keep an eye on in this game. You talk about Ashton Genty, what he needs to do. Jackson Woodard and this defense know what they need to do to get this team a win. And again, in that driver's seat for that group of five spot in the college football playoff. Jalen Catalon, one of the best decisions he made was to transfer to UNLV, and he's making play after play. He is someone who continues to put UNLV in a good spot and take away the ball when they need it. That's been really fun for this team. And Jalen Catalon's career obviously has had quite the roller coaster journey, but he has found his way to UNLV, and now he gets a chance to play for a very important spot and at least gain some momentum for this Rebels team towards that playoff spot. Everyone's kind of putting Boise State in that spot, and for good reason. UNLV has shown that they are capable of winning big games, and they can push teams to a limit that maybe they didn't realize. They obviously came up short against Syracuse, but beating Boise State would give you that spot where you need to go. Now, the impact players for Boise State, we have to start with Ashton Genty. I don't know how you don't talk about Ashton Genty with when you talk about Boise State. It's just that's just what you do with this team. But he is so good. He is so good at what he does. And honestly, when you're averaging just under 10 yards a carry, that's nuts. It doesn't matter what level you are. Now, obviously, there's been talk lately. Travis Hunter's made his comments and he has his own opinions and whatever. But what we are seeing from Ashton Genty, we have not seen from anybody for a long time. I don't know of the last time at any level that we've seen this level of production, this level of greatness. And it's almost like a guarantee that you get a 50 plus yard run for a touchdown with Genty. And I don't know the last time you could say that. It's been that long. So I don't care where he's playing. I don't care that he's playing in the Mountain West versus the Big 12. I don't care that he is playing in the group of five versus the Power Four. Ask Oregon how fun it was to play against Ashton Genty. Yeah, that's one game, but ask how fun it was. That's a game that Oregon should win by 30 plus every single time, and they didn't because he's that good. Again, I can't. It's hard for me to just sit here and listen to people go, "Oh, well, it doesn't matter because of X, Y, or Z." We have that with the playoff. Like, oh, these games don't matter. And it's just a weird stance to have. Like, just enjoy the games. Don't pay attention to them if you really don't want to cover the sport or watch the sport in its entirety. Just stick to what you want to watch and don't comment on other things. Ashton Genty's elite. He deserves to be first in the Heisman Trophy race right now, and you can't convince me otherwise. Now, that being said, this is a big game. He has to have a big game, but a lot of the pressure falls on the passing attack. Maddox Madsen so far has done a really good job. If he's playing within their system, he plays really well. This offense thrives. He is someone that is going to be the biggest X factor on this team, regardless of how everybody else plays. If he plays within Dirk Cutter's system, they'll be in good hands. If he tries to make some plays, which every once in a while he can do, for the most part, he has to stick in that system, make the smart read, take what's open, and give Ashton Genty time to run and space to run because the passing attack can do what it can do. Cam Camper's going to have some big plays. This passing attack is going to open up the field, and that's going to make Ashton Genty even more dangerous. The defense is going to have their hands full too. Again, this UNLV offense is no joke. Andrew Simpson has his hands full. Ahmad Hassanin has been good for them this year. This defense has been disruptive at times, but this is a new level of challenge that you have not faced. Now, granted, Oregon was a challenge, but I think that Oregon also wasn't the Oregon that we saw this past weekend or 2 weekends ago. So maybe that's some has something to be said about that. But this is a very difficult challenge. It's going to be a offense that you're going to have to face and do a lot of different things. You're going to have to be disciplined. But I really like that this is an exciting game, one in which I think that you're going to see obviously the major implications for the college football playoff, but to me is just going to be a really exciting and entertaining game. Both of these teams can score at a high pace and they can go really fast, and that's going to be fun to watch. I don't really know what else to say about it. It's going to be a fun game. That's probably the easiest way to say it. You have a number of players to keep an eye on, notable names that all college football fans should really know. Obviously, it's not just Ash and Genty. This is going to be a fun game. It has implications for the race in the Mountain West. It has implications for the college football playoff. I'm really excited to see which team can come out with a win on this weekend game where it's going to be two high-powered offenses with defenses that fly around the field. You're looking for entertainment. This is going to give it